Hello friends, welcome to this week's episode of Molecular Kitchen. This week we are visiting a farm and we're really excited. So we have chickens, cows, pigs, ducks, rooster, a lot of other stuff that I love. And so this week we will talk about some serious questions. Which come first, chicken or eggs? Sorry, I was joking. I'll not be talking about chicken or eggs. That's really philosophical questions. But yeah, I think we should talk about which comes first, chicken or eggs. I think that's also a scientific question also, and maybe we can answer these type of questions with evolutionary biology. Maybe. Let's find out. Also, we're going to cook some chicken dishes. What about some fruit and chicken, or maybe desi murgi jhol? Let's make it. It would be really interesting, right? Okay, so we are going to make desi murgi jhol, and we'll also talk about which comes first, chicken or eggs, and we'll check out some of the evolutionary biology. Okay, let's get started and get your biology textbook out. Now, I think chicken or egg, that's really deep philosophical questions, and philosophers like Aristotle and other great philosophers, they were also thinking about it. So Aristotle argued that if there is a first man, then he must have no father or mother. And that's kind of absurd. A really deeper question, like cause and effect. Also, it's about like infinite series. Chicken, egg, chicken, egg, chicken, egg, chicken, egg. Which comes first? Also, I think when we talk about chicken or egg, which comes first, there is a deep biological debate between two different type of evolution theory, Darwin's evolution theory and Lamarckian evolution theory. This is a question about whether epigenetics control genetics. So we'll talk about this, but let's get involved with the chicken. We have a chicken here, right? So here is the chicken that we are going to cook. We got it from the farm. It's a bit tougher than the regular chicken we buy from the supermarket. I think it has to do with that they have to like forage for their foods, and eventually they'll build some muscles. But it's really tasty, trust me. Here are the things we need. We need onions, we need ginger and garlic. We are going to add some green chilies and a potato. So now we need to chop all these things. We are chopping now the onion, the potato right now, and the green chilies. So tomatoes, making things ready. Here are the things we need. We have all the chopped stuff and chicken. So let's talk about now chicken and egg problem. So chickens or eggs, this can be explained by evolution theory. And evolution theory, one thing you have to understand, it's really slow and long process, and it also a continuous process. It doesn't like that Australopithecus on a fine morning like converted into humans like us. It took millions of years of evolutions, and that's a lot of time. So as we dig into this chicken and egg problem, let's have some patience. Now, chicken or any kind of eggs, if you think of chicken or any kind of eggs, of course the eggs came first. What are eggs? Eggs basically a membrane bound vessels or apparatus where the embryo can grow, and it has some level of protections. Earlier, all the animals used to lay their eggs on water or some kind of aquatic environment, but slowly then these embryos are wrapped with calcium carbonate crystals, and that and with some more nutrients in there, and that actually produce the modern eggs. And so if you think that way, eggs came first, then chicken. Now if you think about chicken eggs and chickens, that is a bit tricky. We'll think about chicken and egg problem later, but let's first mix the chicken kosha or countryside chicken curry. For that we added oil to a pan, and we are now adding bay leaves. It will make things really flavorful. We are going to add some other spices, for example cinnamon stick. We're going to add cardamom, green cardamom and black cardamom. Then we're going to add cloves, and all these spices and their chemicals that are there will mix into our chicken, and it'll be really flavorful. Yeah, things are getting. Now we're adding onions, then we'll add potato and other stuffs. Now talking about free-range chicken or country chicken, they have really good food diversity, and they also forage or scavenge their foods, and that's how they build some muscles. They have some diversity in foods, and all these things I think make the country chicken much tastier than the regular chicken that we buy from market. You're adding ginger and garlic paste. We also added some salt and sugar. Salt will draw out the water from the onions, and sugar will make the color. Adding turmeric right now. We're also going to add chili powder. Look tasty. Now let's go back to the scientific problem that we had. The ancestor of modern chickens are red jungle fowls, or they're called Gallus gallus, their scientific name. At some point, humans actually domesticated these red jungle fowl, and then that gave rise to this the modern chicken, or Gallus gallus domesticus. We call the red jungle fowl almost chicken or proto chicken. Now, how this proto chicken get converted to chicken, I mean the modern chicken? Scenario number one can be the two proto chicken mated, and there's some DNA changes, genetic changes written into their embryo, and it's wrapped into eggshells, and then when a new chicken hatched from this egg, it produced the modern chicken. So if you think that sequence of events, it makes sense to think about that eggs came first, and then it gives rise to the chicken, gave rise to the chicken. So proto chicken, then egg, and then chicken. This is classic Darwin's evolution theory, and where like the genetic material passed from one generation to the next generation, and it created a new species. Okay, looks like the masala is almost ready. We are going to add few things. For example, we are going to add chopped tomatoes, we are adding green chilies, and we'll mix this together. Now at this point the masala is almost ready, or actually ready right now. We can add the chickens. Here we go. So we are adding the chicken now. We need to like mix the chicken into the masala. We need to braise it for quite a time. The water will come out from the chicken, and so it takes a lot of time. Now as we are doing this, let's talk about some science. Now before Darwin published his famous Origins of Species and Natural Selections, 50 years ago, 50 years before that, Lamarck published his own version of evolution theory. And what Lamarck's evolution theory tells us? It tells us inheritance of acquired characteristics. Like if I want to explain this, the famous example is the giraffe. He used to think that giraffe used to have small necks, and once they like started grazing for long years and they ran out of grass, their food, they slowly started to reach out the higher branches of trees, and that situation gave rise to their long neck. And so here basically environment shaped their body, and hopefully like and in these mechanism they can produce new species. I mean, at that point of time there is no mechanism how this environment can change the germ line, and then how it can be transferred into the next generation. So there is no coherent mechanism, and people could not think about this. So that's why his theory was abandoned that time. But now people think that there might be some ways where environment can shape the genetics. For example, and these are extra DNA changes or epigenetic changes are also found in many species, and how these are actually happen. It can happen by long-lived non-coding RNAs or DNA methylation or histone modifications, and all these can be classed into cellular inheritance, and sometimes the cellular inheritance can be passed into the next generation. Now scenario number 2 can be before the proto-chicken produced the modern chicken. In that environment, human environment, they slowly changed. They got some cellular inheritance, and that actually transformed them from proto-chicken to chicken. That changes are not written in their DNA or egg, but it's more cellular. So if you think about this sequence of events, proto-chicken, chicken, which happened by the change in environment, and then it is written into the embryo and egg, and then it produced the new species. If you think that way, the Lamarckian way, then it like you will conclude that the chicken came first. It's still cooking the chicken. It took me almost like an hour or 45 minutes to cook this. Now I think this is ready. This looks awesome. Look at the color. It's really wonderful. And I tasted this, it's really nice, and it's much better than the chicken I have eaten so far. So if you crave for some really tasty chicken, go for it. Free range chicken or country chicken or desi chicken, we call it. It's awesome. Hope you liked this video and hope you learned something new today. If you like our channels, also like, share and subscribe to our channel, and let me know what you think, what came first, chicken or eggs. But most importantly, if you a chicken lover, if you love chickens, try this recipe of country chicken or French chicken or desi chicken, so to speak, and let me know how it came out. Hope we'll meet next week with new video and new science. Happy holidays. Bye bye.